the PR program for Ebola. What is Ebola? Ebola is a virus disease which is merely known as Ebola hemorrhagic fever. It's described by the World Health Organization as a severe, often fatal illness. How is it transmitted? Ebola is transmitted by body fluids. What does it do to your body? The symptoms of Ebola. Ebola begin with fever, muscle pain, and sore throat. Then it escalate to vomiting, diarrhea, and internal and external bleeding. Before, there has been outbreaks in West Africa, which is Syria, Leon, Uganda, and Liberia. How is it treated? Ebola has no cure or vaccine. If a person has Ebola, he or she must protect herself from injuries and bleeding. Research surveys, formal and informal research surveys. Ebola death reaches 2,288 and 99 Ebola virus genomics called from 78 patients diagnosed with Ebola in Sierra Leone during the first 24 days outbreak. More than 300 genetic Ebola that make 2014 Ebola virus genomics distinct from viral genomes. In 1976, there was an outbreak of 378 cases. Since 378 cases, the 2014 outbreak has manifested in the more densely populated West Africa, and since it was first reported in Guinea. In March 2014, 2,240 cases have been reported with 1,229 deaths as of August 19. The team's outlook of 395 mutations over 340 that distinguish the current outbreak from previous ones, and over 50 within the West Africa, over 50 within the West African outbreak. Setting objectives that inform. We will create awareness and informing people by means of mass media, such as using the radio and television to spread the word about Ebola. And we will also use mass communication to communicate with our target audience by means of making posters and give away flyers that have pictures for target audience who cannot read or who are not able to read. Objectives that motivate. We will strive to encourage doctors to find cure for the people who are infected for Ebola. Objectives that motivate. We will strive to encourage doctors to find cure for the people who are infected with Ebola. And how people think of Ebola. We will persuade them to think positive about Ebola, and that it is not the end of the world when a person has Ebola, and that it can be treated. Our target audience. Our target audience is everyone, meaning women, men, and children, because Ebola can infect everyone by body fluids. Setting objectives that inform. We will create awareness and informing people by means of mass media, such as using radio, television to spread the word about Ebola. And we will also use mass communication to communicate with our target audience by means of making posters and give away flyers that has pictures for the target audience that doesn't know how to read or that are not able to read. We will also persuade people to think positive about Ebola. That when a person is infected with Ebola, it is not the end of the world, and it can be treated. Coming to our target market. Our target market will be everyone in the world, meaning women, men, and children, because Ebola can infect everyone by body fluids. Government and the press will also be in our campaign to publish our campaign on the press, internal publics, health management, and patient, external public, government, local community. We will teach people about Ebola. How can Ebola be treated? How can people treat Ebola? What is Ebola? How is it transmitted? What does it do to your body? And the message the main message that we are going to spread to people is that together we can strive to beat Ebola. Activities, oral activities, offering target audience with information, written activities. Give our target audience booklet that has information on how Ebola can be treated, offer refreshment, offer skills on how to help a person with Ebola, and offer food, and also entertainment. Our budget is 15,000 items that we are going to buy. Food will cost 5,000. Entertainment will cost 700. Refreshment will buy 150 bottles, multiply by 13 rand, which will be 1,950. Posters will make 10 posters, multiply by 9 rand, then it will give us 90 rand. Flyers, we'll make 50 flyers for everyone to get a flyer, multiply by 3 rand, then it multiply by 3 rand, it will give us 150. Media, newspaper, for the press clipping, we'll pay 1,000. Radio, for radio bookings, we'll pay 1,200. We'll hire chairs, and we'll hire 75 chairs, multiply by 4 rand, which will give us 45 rand. And we'll also hire 3 tables, multiply by 15 rand. Then it will give us 45 rand. Our contingency fee is 10%. We will take the total of budget and multiply it by 10% of contingency fee, divide by 100, which will give us 1,500. Our subtotal will be 11,935. Our VAT will be 14%. Our VAT will be 14%. We'll take the amount of subtotal, which is 11,935, multiply by 14%, divide by 100, which will give us 1,670.09 cents. Our actual total, all in all, for the asset will be 13,605 rand and 9 cents. That's all. Thank you.
I'm from Valley University of Technology. I'm doing public relations. And this is my second year. I'm here to interview you about Ebola. What do you know about Ebola? Can you please brief about Ebola?
Okay, thank you. My name is Joyce Madimabi. I'm the Assistant Director, EPI, Child Integrated School Health Program, as well as Communicable Disease in Civilian District Health. So Ebola is one of the communicable diseases that we experience in a healthcare department. So Ebola is a viral hemorrhagic fever type of disease that usually affects human beings, and it was originally origin from Republic of Congo in 1976. It originated where it was discovered that the monkeys and the gorillas, after they died, their secretions as the hunters were busy with them, then they contracted the virus. Yeah.
Second question is, how is it transmitted? Actually, is it transmitted to people and also animals?
Okay. In terms of people, it is transmitted through secretions from the human body, ne? Your blood, your any secretions from your body orifices, ne? Vagina,
body
everything,
fluids.
blood, body fluids, all of them. They are, once you come in contact with them, it's easy to contract the virus. That is why always you need to protect yourself. In terms of gorillas and other animals, you know, with regard to hunters and all that, as they do that, it's easy for them to be infected of the virus. It's actually coming in contact with human secretions of a person infected with the virus.
The third question is, how is it treated?
How is it treated? Firstly, you need to maintain preventative measures. Ne? There's no cure for Ebola. The vaccines that they have discovered now in America, it's still a trial. It's not yet the right treatment, but it helps. Ne? The only treatment with regard to when you have Ebola is to maintain infection control, protecting yourself and showing that, and then the person is being treated with fluids, you know, because now you're going to lose a lot of fluid in your body, as well as fever, you know, we treat such symptoms as per the way they present to you. But actually there's no vaccine that will give you this particular vaccine for you to be cured. Yeah.
Okay, last question is, where have there been outbreaks yet?
The outbreaks that we are having now is West Africa. Ne? You find that in the Republic of Congo, Guinea, Sierra Leone, we've got all the outbreaks. That is where the worst of outbreaks. And now recently we have Nigeria, which is nearer us, that we can also contract with. But in South Africa, so far, the cases that we have recently, we once had it in 2012, if I'm not mistaken, 2011, 2012, where one nurse died as well as a domestic worker died. But so far, since the outbreak now recently, in South Africa, it was only suspected cases, whereby we find that there's no Ebola. Yeah.
Okay. How about, what does it do to your body when you have Ebola?
Yeah.
Okay. What does it do? The symptoms of Ebola.
Yeah.
How can you see that you have Ebola in your body?
Thank you.
What does it
Firstly, it will present itself as a fever, like a disease, like when you are having malaria, when you are having fever, like flu-like symptoms, whereby you are going to have general body pains, malaria, you know, the joints, how you find that they are heavy, and also you are feverish, just like a malaria case where you become feverish, and that's why always they will be mistaken as if you've got malaria. It's general body pain, né? And then fever, lack of appetite, all those things. Then at the end of the day, ultimately it starts now where your body cannot clot the blood. So it means you're
going to lose your blood.
Yeah, you're going to bleed continuously. Yeah?
Like cancer.
No, not like it. No. The body inside, isn't it the circulation of your blood? Every time, even if you've got scratch, there will be clotting. But now you'll be bleeding from inside your body. So bleeding will be exposed, and that's why death comes easy. So if ever you don't have any treatment that you can get.
Okay, I get this, Sister
Yeah.
Joyce. Thank you very much, Sister Joyce, for your time. You really helped me a lot, so I thank you.
Yeah.
That was Sister Joyce from John Hayes that had just answered 5 W's and 1 H about Ebola. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Sister Joyce.
Okay, thank you. But I would like to say to your colleague, everybody treat anybody as an Ebola patient, because now we don't know a person who's having the virus. So whenever you treat any bleeding or whatever, always try to protect yourself.
So
Use,
that putting
yeah,
on
the hand
gloves.
gloves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.